Okay, so Bitcoin came down into our support area, right? So now what's next? What makes the most sense for us to better prepare for the next move and keep the charts realistic? This way we can actually better position ourselves and take advantage of course, the rest of this potential bull market, right? So everything I'm gonna say, guys, remember, is just what I am doing. I like to share with you guys what I am doing. Please do your own due diligence and your own research. So to get started, there's two things I want to show. I want to go over the heat map one more time. I showed it yesterday. I'm going to break down the price area. We're also going to talk about Mara stock um, afterwards, because Mara stock is coming down into a support area I talked about recently as well. But right now, September is still green. September is usually a weak month. It can be flat, it can be slightly in the red, slightly in the green. But the idea is that September there is weakness. Well, then October, November, and December are quite strong. Now, if you guys noticed a lot in previous videos, I've been trading IBITs more often now than BitU, just because we are nearing the end of this bull cycle. So I want to be a little bit more conservative with taking trades, because once we actually confirm that the bear market has started, I want to make a lot of updates for you guys of me. Um, I want to be DCAing the whole bear market when Bitcoin reaches to a certain point, and I also want to take advantage of short trading. But then what I showed you yesterday was in it was a 1 month. Oh, that's 1 week. Hold on. 1 month on the heat map for BTC USDT perpetual futures on the Binance exchange. We had this area right here, right, entering into 112,000. And then I highlighted down the chart and I said we can easily come down into this area. So now that we finally have that area, I can look at the 3 month, a little bit of a bigger picture, and it shows that there's some strong liquidations down here below 107K. And the reason is so significant. And of course, we can just start going up higher from here. But this is why position sizing and understanding the bigger picture is so important. Because if you are someone that, and this is just my opinion, because I made a lot of mistakes just focusing on the short term, smaller picture, not really understanding the bigger trend. Yes, the overall bigger trend is that we are still in a bull market and we are making some large higher highs and higher lows. But if you're just focused on the short term, you're like, okay, well, we have a retracement from this low up to the high right here, so this shows strong support for a chance of a higher low. Now that's still 100% valid. If you guys remember, I've been keeping track of these red areas as a accumulation opportunity, while the blue retracements and extension areas are take profit zones. So if you guys been following, you understand I'm very very strict when it comes to my own trading to treat these areas, accumulation and TPs, very seriously, because if you guys remember, during this time we were starting to trend higher and there's a ton of optimism, a ton of happy investors and traders in the market. And look at this, it topped out and started breaking down into support before we even made a new all-time high. And now all of these optimistic traders and investors have like disappeared. And that's why it's so important to know where you want to get out and where you want to get in and where you want to get out. So if you guys remember too, and this is gonna make sense, the reason I'm explaining all this is I'm gonna make some sense right here. But for example, right here, we had a strong accumulation opportunity, retracement with a bearish extension, supporting, this range, and I was accumulating into it, and then we went up. This is where we got bullish confirmation, and then we pushed up higher. I gave you guys this TP area ahead of time, um, and we topped in it very nicely. There was a ton of optimism, but if you were paying attention to this, and it's like, hey, there's a good chance we could see a reversal, and it happened. So now we're seeing something somewhat similar, but here's why this is so important. So ever since we topped out up here, we're looking for a corrective move down before we can go up higher. Because before that, we traded upwards very very aggressively. So the correction is also going to be quite detailed in the sense of we're seeing a strong wave down. Most of these waves, pretty much none of them. We had this one right here, but it was mostly due to good it was an economic calendar event, and it pushed it up, and it did go into a proper retracement at the time, but it was very short lived before it coming down. So none of this was actually very significant. So now that we actually have the price trending up, and if you guys remember, this blue area is a retracement from the swing high to the swing low, and I gave you guys this extension area overlapping with this 118k level, showing that hey, this area maxes out at 118k, the 0.618 retracement, and it's right here in the median, in the actual value of the extension between 117.6 and 118.5. We traded perfectly in that, found resistance. So it was not surprising whatsoever that the price topped out here. That's why I give these areas ahead of time, so you guys understand, or at least try to remain realistic on, what makes sense. So we had a nice take profit opportunity. If you guys been following, I sold my short term longs within this area, and then I said, hey, it just makes sense that we can come down into this retracement. So now here's how I'm approaching this. This move up can simply just be a bigger picture corrective wave for a downtrend, right? The downtrend, we have, like, if you guys like to focus on just wave structures, that represent, or not represent, but back up these fib structures quite well. We have a move down, first actual corrective wave, and now we finish it off with a potential one more low to come down into this area. So this is how I'm approaching this. Yes, we can have a higher low within support. I mean, if you guys remember that heat map, we came perfectly down to 112k. We hit 112k that I highlighted yesterday, and now we're consolidating. The RSI is quite maxed out to the discount. If you're looking at the 1 day candles, it shows that there's a little bit more room. It looks like, actually, I can probably show you guys real quick. Yeah, there's a little bit more room, but this isn't super significant. It's a lot of times during these bull markets, we usually don't see it maxed out to the bottom side for many months. So on the 1 hour candles, it's looking good, but this does not mean that I am just blindly expecting higher prices. Here's how I'm approaching this. So we are in a accumulation zone, right? Fair enough to accumulate some long exposure, focusing on position sizing, of course. But the idea is that if this is, and this is why I'm not going to be very aggressive within this area, because I'm still expecting this move down a little bit more. If we go up, we break over the 120 moving average and actually break over the swing high, then we can have an actual confident bullish confirmation. The reason being is we have enough momentum to break past short-term resistance, where I'm going to explain in a moment, break over the swing high, then I will just completely invalidate the purple area. I have not completely invalidated it yet, because what I'm expecting right now, until we have bullish confirmation breaking over the swing high, invalidating the purple, unless that happens, the idea here is that I am focusing on position sizing for the opportunity. So I would rather just see the price come straight down, or I mean, it can just go up like crazy. I have long exposure for the rest of this bull market, but when it comes to short-term trading, if it just pops, great. I'll make profit on the short term, not short term longs. But ideally, if we can just see this come down, hit those liquidations. I showed you guys a moment ago, just under 107k. That will briefly go into the short-term purple deep value. The reason being is that these areas are not very, they're very, very short-lived. I do not take these areas lightly. I focus on accumulating aggressively, because last time we used this area, we went into it, recovered super, super quickly. There was an opportunity right here. I didn't color code it properly, but we just bounced right off of it. So we can either see it come into the below 107k briefly, or just, I mean, it's just gonna be super short lived. I can't go all the way back, but if you guys remember last year, we had 3 opportunities to take advantage of short term deep value before the prices went up like crazy. And there's videos. I was like talking about how important this area is for me. I don't know what date this was, but it was last year, when Bitcoin was trading in the 50s. Um, and I was just like, I'm buying. I don't know about you guys, but I'm buying. This is a crazy deal. So the idea here is that I have some exposure in the short term for higher prices, but I am not just going to hold until the price goes higher, because overall we could still see this final wave down into short term deep value unless bullish confirmation is given to us. So what I'm doing is I'm using this opportunity. So the retracement is also backed up by an extension area, which is simply this move is a 3 point extension. So first point here, second point here, third point here, move down gives us this zone, and we're consolidating perfectly within it. So the idea here is that the price did break below the point 0.5 retracement at 112.6k, which means it's possible that we can see the price have a corrective move up before it comes down into, it makes one more low, and then from there it goes up higher. But the idea is, right, how low does that low have to be? Do we actually have to go into short term deep value, or not? Can we find an actual bottom higher than 170k? Well, the heat map shows that we can actually hit the purple area, but if we don't focus on the heat map just as an estimate, let's say, and this is just an estimate, so I'm not even gonna like leave it on here, but let's just say we do find a bottom here and we go up to roughly 115k before we go down lower. Um, it still shows that, breaking into the purple is very, very likely. This is just an estimate, and it's falling perfectly within this. So I'm not here to like be hopeful or anything. So the way I'm approaching this is, if we see a corrective bounce, we have plenty of imbalance right here, and we also have some imbalance right here. This one's not as significant, but the moment the price breaks up to 114k, I'm already looking at shaving short-term positions, locking in some profit within this area, and then letting the price either come down or show bullish momentum by holding a higher low in the structure, pushing up higher over the swing high. That's how I'm approaching this, right? So right now, I'm not blindly optimistic. I still see weakness, at least in the short term, before we can go up and finally hit that 1.236 extension target, which is 128k. The idea to go up there and break over these value gaps is simple. We either do it now, or we finish this correction in a healthy manner. And I can even give you guys, because now we topped out within this corrective wave. So let's see how well it really does overlap, right? It shows we can actually have a decent amount of time. We can trade within this purple area for a good amount of time, probably faster than this one. We'll probably have more time than that one to actually accumulate, and we can even come down below 100k for a little bit before going up higher. And I mean, I'm telling you guys right now, if this happens, not just going into the purple, but if we see Bitcoin trade underneath 100k, I'm gonna be all over buying, some long term, not long term, but long positions, because that is a crazy deal. That's a crazy deal, especially with October, November, December being such an optimistic month. For some reason, a lot of inflows. Like, if we're here, like, I'm gonna be buying like crazy. But the idea here is that, at least right now in the real short term, I'm looking for either the price to come down straight down into deep value, or I'm looking for a corrective move before we come down. This will be the ideal scenario, is for us to come down directly, or if we have this corrective move, I'll be shaving some short-term positions and going out lower. I've been repeating myself too much, so let's jump into Mara. But yeah, the support area came in super nicely. Like I wasn't expecting it to hit it this soon, but it did. So now with Mara stock, it pretty much played out exactly how I anticipated. So if you guys remember, I like to use these retracement zones. They tend to hold very well and provide really good trade opportunities. But the idea here is that, and remember what I said, any small weakness in Bitcoin, any weakness in Bitcoin will amplify in Mara stock. It tends to. So we had a nice gap just a complete value gap down. We crushed through it, but we did come down into support. So the idea here is that before we even came down into this area, we were trading up here, and I said, hey, like, we hit our take profit area, right? Red accumulation. So we were in accumulation. We broke up into this value gap overlapping with the yellow retracements. So I kept saying during those videos, I kept saying since we were back here, I kept saying $18 to $19 seems like a pretty good take profit opportunity in the short term because and I gave a ton of reasons why. But basically we crushed it. We hit our target with the value gap, and now we came down into a correction. So before we came down, I kept saying like, hey, it can easily come down into this purple retracement area to try to find some short-term support. I gave you guys an extension in red from first point, second point, and third point. And I gave us this area. So I said the price cannot just come down into this purple area, but this red area shows strong support overlapping around that, 1750. And we found support and we went up higher. Now I didn't leave this on here. I try to leave these charts looking as clean as possible. But if you guys remember, I give you guys an estimate. Like if we go down to the 0.5, for example, we can have a corrective move up and maybe find resistance within. It was an estimate at the time. It was an estimate, but we pretty much did exactly that. So we found support, nice short-term accumulation, take profit being the retracement from here to here. So the idea here is that we can actually come down. I'm expecting, realistically, what I'm looking for in Mara stock right now is I'm not looking for the price to really go. If it does, great, right? That's why I kept saying accumulation, short-term take profit, shaving positions. I've said this many times during this trend we had down here around 1550. So if you guys still have some long exposure, great. If it goes up, that'll be great. But when it comes to short-term, more aggressive trading, right now, really what makes the most sense is we don't have a continuation of bullish confirmation. As of right now, the price, like even coming down all the way into support, it didn't even bottom out the RSI on the hourly candles. There is not a whole lot of strong bullish momentum here anymore. What it did, and it provided us an opportunity to take profit. And it traded within this, it traded in the 18s for like a decent amount of time as well, in case you guys didn't set like limit orders to sell and take profit. But the idea is that I want to see the RSI bottom out. I want to see us come down back into this zone that we've been trading in previously. There's some strong value around that 1550 coming all the way down to even the 14s. So the idea here is that we can maximize this purple area. At least let's not focus even on the 14s or 1550. Let's just focus on what's most probable, right? So we came down into support. We had a corrective move up perfectly into the retracement. The idea now is that in order to let this bottom out, I want to see the price come down lower. So if you guys been watching for, you know what I'm looking for. You already know that some shorts right now are looking real good. I think shorts right now are going to be a real good deal. I'm making this like 5 hours after the market closed either way. But the idea is that we're going to come down lower. And as of right now, with the closed price, we have an opportunity to pass through this area and come perfectly back in line with the previous channel that we've been trading in previously. So right now I'm looking for short-term weakness in Mara. Regardless, shorts are going to kick ass in my opinion. We found supports, great opportunity to buy longs. You already know retrace every move, every single move we have. I don't even need to show it. You already know what I'm looking for. Every move, I'm always following it. Like this move higher, I was following it with this retracement in purple. And then the moment we have another move, it's like we're following it down. If the price finds support within the original retracement that we're following higher with the one we're following it down. So it was as simple as that. It's like if we topped out here, like we've been following higher with this area, we topped out. We hit take profit value gap. Okay, cool. So we're not raising this anymore. Instead, we're gonna follow the price lower. Continue to find it lower. Oh, we went into support. Great. We're in support. So that means we're accumulating throughout support, throughout the accumulation zone. It's red. You guys already know. And then we're accumulating. The moment it finds that short-term support, the idea is that we want to let the price rally up to have a small corrective move. And that's our take profit, is we're following the price lower. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing now. So like right now, shorts, right? You guys already know from the overall swing high right here. What did I just do? Did I not pick it? Okay. So the idea is that we're still following this lower. So now there's shorts right there, right? The idea is that we're going to follow the price lower. We're going to follow it lower. Most likely it will bottom out. There's going to be some like amplified downward pressure from Bitcoin in tomorrow. So the idea is that we're going to keep following it down. We're following it down. Let's say, for example, it comes down into this area and it finds support around 1550. Then the idea is that we can have a quick, um, just a quick bullish recovery, a little bit of a correction within the downtrend. Um, so like it comes down, we take profits on shorts because the idea is that we take profit on shorts. Like if as of right now, with the information we have right here, it can come down into this area. So if you're buying shorts and you're shorting Mara and it comes down into this area, you got, like, in my opinion, you gotta take profit, man. You don't want to be greedy, because then the corrective move up, if it hits your, the deadline for the options trade, like you're done. But basically, this is gonna be my next overall take profit for shorts. Um, then potential long trade opportunity into retracement, and it will probably be more conservative if you do the retracement from the swing high currently right here, this micro swing high, follow it down, take profits on shorts, open longs, go into short-term resistance, which will be the new retracement. I'll probably, when it happens, I'll probably show it more to the right. And then we go into this area. So this is, as of right now, my target for shorts, and it will nicely bottom out the RSI. And then we'll continue to trade again, once again, in these discounted values. And then from there, we can look at a new potential structure to go up higher and see if we can go over 20 bucks. But we're not focused on that anymore until it becomes irrelevant again. What's happening right now is what matters. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Mara goes below 17, back below into the low 16s, and then back into the 15s soon. But we will see. As of right now, we just don't have enough to say that the price will go up higher. It can even try to max out this purple area and find support sooner before it goes up higher. But realistically, guys, I believe shorts are the king right now for Mars stock, and we can be looking at trading back in this range once again real soon. And then again, once again with Bitcoin, it's simple. I mean, we can still trend lower. I mean, it looks like it wants to. We can trend lower to try to maximize this area, but there is an opportunity, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. But there's an opportunity for a corrective move here before it goes down lower. And then, well, I mean, once we finally have this corrective move done, longs are gonna be super attractive. But regardless, September is getting close to being over, so then we'll see how long it takes before that October optimism begins to pick up on this asset. But of course, I'll keep you guys updated. We'll let the chart do its thing, and then we'll go on from there. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed, and take care.